In the antebellum United States, Solomon Northup, a free black man from upstate New York, is abducted and sold into slavery. This is my review of 12 Years a Slave. So ever since I saw the trailer for 12 Years a Slave, I've been excited because of the mega cast, because of the director that's directing it, and because of the fact that the premise for this film is based off a true story, and it's based off a book by the actual person that went through these events. And just the fact that someone actually went through this was just like when I first heard the premise, I was like, man, I wonder how they survived that. And that's what got me interested, because I want to know this person's story, Solomon Northup's story. And after seeing 12 Years a Slave, I gotta tell you guys that it is a really well made film. It's fantastic, but it's not a film for entertainment. It's a human story. The good points. I think the main good point about 12 Years a Slave was the acting from both the leading and the supporting characters. So, in the lead, we have Chiwetel Ejiofor. You probably don't know him by name, but if you saw a picture of him, you would know. And his acting in 12 Years a Slave was like mind-boggling good, and it was just riveting. It was like he went through like his emotions and everything, and he did a really fantastic job of like showing that to us. As for the supporting roles, let's talk about the larger ones first. Michael Fassbender was the best supporting character in the movie because he played a southern plantation slave owner, and he did a really good job of being this fearful, menacing slave owner. And once you see him, once you go see this movie and once you see him, it's like, holy crap, I would not want to be under his control or anything. And we also have Lupita Nyong'o, who plays one of the slaves that's with Solomon during his time with the slave owner that's played by Michael Fassbender. And Lupita does a really great job with her supporting role. She doesn't really have any mind-blowing scenes, but there's just 2 or 3 scenes when she's put on, and when all the tension builds up and everything. It's she does a really good job of showing her emotions and showing her mental pain, her physical pain and everything, and it's just great. As for really small supporting roles, we have Brad Pitt, who plays an abolitionist. We also have Paul Dano, who's a slave master, I guess. Paul Giamatti, who's a slave trader. And Benedict Cumberbatch, who is one of the nicer slave owners in the film. And these 4 actors that I just named off are not really in the film. They only have at least 10 minutes tops of screen time, throughout the entire movie. Each character has at least 5 to 10 minutes of screen time. And even though they have smaller roles, their acting is still phenomenal because they just put it out there. So Steve McQueen is the director of this film, and he has directed other films like Hunger and Shame. I've never seen those films before, but I've heard from other people that those films are really good. So 12 Years a Slave was the first Steve McQueen movie that I was going to see, and his directing style is incredible, in my opinion. He does a really good job of focusing on Solomon's character and focusing on his problems, his troubles, his fight for survival, and he also dives into some of the supporting cast as well, some of their stories as well. And the way he mixes that a little bit into Solomon's story is really good, in my opinion. He also does a really good job of setting the tension throughout the movie, because when the tension is low, it's like really low. It's slow, but the acting keeps it up. And when the tension is high and when it's tense, it is like really fast paced and everything, and it's riveting. I also thought that the writing was really good in 12 Years a Slave. I thought that the dialogue was believable, and it really had good dialogue throughout the film. And I thought that the scenes were written well as well. And whoever did the cinematography for this film should get nominated for an award, because the cinematography in this film was really great. I mean, it had like multiple range of like different shots, and the lighting was really good throughout the movie, and just yeah, it was just good. I also thought that the sets and costumes of 12 Years a Slave were good as well, because they captured the essence of the setting for the movie, which was 1800s America. The makeup was good as well, and there's this one scene in particular where the makeup artist did a really incredible job, and yeah, this isn't spoiling anything, sort of, but there's this whipping scene, and you see the aftermath of that whipping scene, and the aftermath on that person's back, and the person's back was just brutal. It was like, I thought I was gonna like look away for a second, and I did look away, because the makeup artist did a really good job of like showing like the flesh and everything, and I was like, oh my god. The final good point I want to say about 12 Years a Slave is the editing and pacing of the movie, because whenever there were slow moments, it was done very well. The directing helped along with the slow moments, and so did the acting, because you were still engaged with those slow moments. And I thought that the fast-paced moments were edited really well, because it captured like what was happening in that scene, or with this conflict. The bad points. So there are really only two things that I would change about the movie, and one of those things is the beginning of the movie. Now, the beginning does a really good job of foreshadowing what's going to happen, but I thought that it should have been filmed a different way, and I thought it should have been filmed where Brad Pitt's character meets Solomon, and they have this conversation, and that conversation like leads into like the story that Solomon tells us. But it didn't go that way. It went a different way. But yeah, that's one of the things I would change. The other thing I would change about 12 Years a Slave would be the time transitions throughout the movie. I mean, you know, at some points when time has passed, but at other moments, like, you don't know when time has passed. The journey that Solomon takes in the movie, it didn't feel like 12 years, in my opinion. Like, it didn't feel like that amount of time passed. I think it would have been better if Steve McQueen could have somehow put in like timestamps throughout the film, like subtitles like 1860 or whatever, just to let the audience know like what year it is and everything, and how long Solomon has been away from his family and everything. So like I said, I saw this movie with my dad, and he gives it a 3.25 out of 4 stars, while I give it a 3.75 out of 4 stars. It is almost a perfect movie, in my opinion. Like, the bad points were the only reason why it got a quarter deduction. But other than that, 12 Years a Slave is a movie I think you should see. But if you're gonna see it, it's not a movie that's entertaining in any way. Like, it's not. It's fully about slavery and about this man's journey to survival and everything. And if you are going to see the movie, then I should warn you that there are some like harsh moments, and by harsh I mean like brutal moments, or disturbing moments, and emotional moments. Like, there are a lot throughout the film, and it was brutal to watch, in my opinion. So other than that, that's it.